All right, we've done a number of chapters on how you manage the group and so some of the management techniques you need to do. Now we've talked about becoming a leader. We've defined what leadership looks like in our space. We've said leading is to cause people to willingly do something they wouldn't necessarily want to do. Let's talk about how you get there. What does that look like? What is the distinction between managing the team and leading the team? And for here, I'm going to suggest that your role is going to evolve as you evolve in the business. You're going to start as a student. You're going to become a teacher. You're going to go back to being a student. You're going to become a leader. You're going to go back to becoming a student. You're going to become a motivator. You're going to go back to becoming a student. And that's what you'll go from a student to teacher to leader to motivator. And that's your role in the organization changes as you evolve. Because when you start, your job is to be a student. It's to learn how to do the business and do the business. The magic of this platform, here's why I say, if you've ever heard me talk about this virtual learning platform, you've heard me say that any team member you get with a password here is worth 10 or 20 team members who aren't on this platform. Because what they can do here is study, do, and teach simultaneously. That's the magic of the business. This is what we want to create as leaders, is we want to create a structure, an environment where our people study, do, and teach simultaneously. So you start as the student. You study, but then you do it, and then right away you need to be teaching it. And then you evolve to the point where you're a leader of a bigger organization. And now your role is going to change, and you've got to lead instead of manage. And then even after that, you're going to evolve once more, and you're going to evolve in the motivator, because now what's going to happen, because your job as a leader, remember we said, what is our job? Our job is to work ourselves out of a job. So even as a leader, your job is to develop new leaders who take your place. So now the organization is going on with you or without you. It's going to continue because we have trained and developed enough leaders who are moving up the structure that even if you step away from the business, it will continue to evolve. So now your role is more of the motivator. You're kind of the case study. They say, oh, you got to see that guy. He built up this team. He's got 200,000 people. He hasn't really actively worked the business in 2 years, yet he makes, $5 million a year, and he's got 5 homes around the world. And you just kind of parachute in once or twice a year at the big events, and they give you your special escrow bonus for $250,000 or $2 million or whatever, some big check on stage or some big contest, and you're just, hi, you're a motivating factor to the team. So your role is going to change as you evolve in the business. So be prepared for that. Now, one of the things you've got to do as a leader is you've got to make decisions for the whole team. And you can't be influenced by emotion, personalities, geography. What's going to happen? People are going to call and say, well, we should do meetings at 3 in the afternoon because everybody's farmers. They get up at 4 a.m. in the field and they go to bed at 7 o'clock at night. People in Miami are going to say, well, we should do meetings at 11 at night because, this is Miami. We don't even eat dinner till 9 or 10 o'clock. And then we're going to the clubs at midnight. We go to bed at 5 a.m. And, no, you say, well, what would be the best decision for the most people? And the analogy here would be pollsters, right? It's fascinating. A country the size of the United States of America with 300 million people, and let's say 50 million of them are going to vote in an election, or 70 million of them are going to vote in an election. They might go out and poll 3,000 people. And with 3,000 people, that's enough of a valid sample that they can actually predict how 70 million people are going to vote. You got to do a similar kind of thing as a leader in a network marketing organization. You have to get and this is what happens when your organization gets big enough, and now you've got at least 20,000 people, let's say. Now hey, I've got to make decisions for the big picture. So yeah, the guy in Iowa says we should do the meetings at 3 in the afternoon. The guy in Miami says we should do them at 10 o'clock at night. But if I make the decision that probably supports the most people, the meetings are going to be at 7 o'clock in the evening or 7:30 in the evening. How to dress. people in Hawaii are going to say, well, everybody wears aloha shirts here, and people in Key West are going to say, everybody wears flip-flop here and nobody wears suits. But you're going to say, well, what is the acceptable level of business dress? So when somebody's on the platform, they actually have credibility in front of a prospect. They look professional. They look professional to their team. Maybe they're going to step up their game a little because they dressed up, their mental state dressed up. So you're going to create a code, a principle of how we dress in this organization. You're going to create a culture of how we dress. So you're going to make those decisions on what is best for the most people in the team. And it means people on one extreme are going to have to compromise a little. It means some people on the other end of the extreme are going to have to compromise a little. But you're going to make decisions and set policies and set procedures that really serve to support the team as a whole. The other thing we have to say in terms about leading versus managing and when you're ready to be a leader is, there's an old cliche, familiarity breeds contempt. And of course the old prophecy, it's hard to be a prophet in your own hometown. I know you've got a lot of friends in the business. You want to be friends with everybody in the business. I do think there has to be a little bit of a line between leaders and some other people at lower levels of the organization. A little bit of mystery would go a long way, is what I'm saying. They really don't have to know every single thing that's going on in your life, and they don't have to know about your gout and when you're getting your tonsils out, and you know what I mean? There's just a little bit of mystery goes a long way. There is some things that people like to look up to their leaders and maybe think they're a little bit further along the pathway than they are, and that's why they're following you, because they do see you at a more advanced level and they trust in that you know where you're going. So you do need to, give you a practical example of this. I don't think it's a good idea to socialize with people who are a number of ranks below you. Now, some of you probably, as soon as I said that, you're recoiling because you think I'm being not capitalistic, not idealistic. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It'll come to me. But like I'm this stuck-up rich guy who doesn't want to associate with the poor people. That's not what I'm talking about at all. It's just the thing of, if you're let's call it a diamond director. I don't know what the ranks are with your company, but let's suppose it's diamond director is the top rank, and diamond directors are making, $100,000 a month. And you got somebody who is a regular director, and they're making $1,000 a month. They don't travel in the same circles you do. If you're a diamond director, you can call other diamond directors and say, let's go car shopping today. You can go to the Bentley dealership, or you can go to the Lamborghini dealership, or you can go to the Ferrari dealership, and you guys can go shopping for cars. A director can't do that. You might just go to lunch. Well, I had lunch the other day. I had lunch at the Breakers Hotel in West Palm Beach. It was a very simple little lunch. I had a bottle of water. I did have a slice of key lime pie for dessert, I have to admit, because they have a 100-year-old recipe for key lime pie. And I had, they had a whole wheat pasta, which I ordered with chicken, and a little side salad. And my bill was $84 for just me. No liquor, no companion, just me. My lunch bill was $84, right? Now, I certainly don't spend $84 for lunch every day. Sometimes I spend $2 because I'm doing it at the drive-through window at Taco Bell. But the point is, I can afford to pay $84 for lunch if I want to. If I'm in a beautiful place like the Breakers and I have a table on the ocean and I'm watching the waves crash in, I'm willing to pay that. Just like the hotel I'm in right now in Las Vegas. I have a beautiful corner suite in the Aria Hotel, right? Now, that ain't the Motel 6. I can afford that, right? But if you socialize with people at too many levels below you in the team, they are going to want to be your friend. They're going to want to keep up with you, and they may spend money that they can't afford to spend, and it puts a stress on them and a pressure on them that you really don't want to put on them at this point. And it isn't just a money thing, too. If you're at a high level of success with the team, you don't have a job anymore. You have tons of free time. You might be working 25 hours a week and making a very large income. And you have other people who are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week with a day job, And then they're trying to start their network marketing business in 10 or 15 hours a week at nighttime on top of their day job. And they have a wife and they have children. And so now you say, well, I'm just going to do a social thing with my guys and we're going to go do a paintball course, or we're going to go to Dave and Buster's and play video games all night or whatever. But if you schedule that on a Friday night and you invite your director to that, that might be the one night where his wife says, well, he works all day in the day job. He goes to opportunity meetings on Tuesday night. He goes to opportunity meetings on Thursday night. He's calling prospects on Monday nights and Wednesday nights. Friday night is our one night with the family, and now he's out with his sponsor again. And they're, even if it's a social thing, that's going to create stress because now you're taking them away from their family. So it could be a time thing. It could be a money thing. It's not an egalitarian, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's not that case. It's a case of trying to support those people at the lower levels in the best possible way. Same thing I say, don't give holiday presents at Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, because that can't be duplicated. Yeah, you're a big diamond director. You're making lots of money now. You could buy a beautiful briefcase or a beautiful planner, a journal, or a Mont Blanc pen or something but then how do those people who aren't making your bonus check, how do they reciprocate with the gift? You know what I mean? So it's better to say, hey, we don't give holiday gifts, but we're just going to celebrate the fellowship together and we don't give gifts. So you do things like that allow people to be a part of the team, expose them to the success and the greatness that they can step into, cause them to willingly take actions that they might not normally want to do, that will lead them to where they want to go, and support them along the way. And that's the difference between managing and leading. Now, let's take the test.